Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And as usual, I'm your host, Larry Cox, and I'm here once again this Sunday, and we're going to talk about a few things going on in good old Rockdale County. And the big thing we're looking at tonight, we're going to give away another one of those Chromebooks. So we gave a Chromebook away last week, and the lady that got it was very excited to get it. Ken went over, delivered it to her. I think he even posted something on our page, sent out an email about it. But very glad to have somebody won that Chromebook, and we will be giving another Chromebook away tonight. So why don't we go ahead and share and like the show. Let's go ahead and build the audience up a little bit so we can go ahead and give this Chromebook away. And before I do that, I'll tell people in the chat, hello, nice to see you, and all that stuff. But it'll be great to be able to give another Chromebook away tonight and make some people very happy. And not only that, but it allows Ken and I to raise money to be able to run some ads and do some things that we want to do next year during the election cycle so that we can help defeat some incumbents here in Rockdale County and bring forth a great change that needs to happen. So let me go ahead and tell some people howdy in the chat tonight. So if we could say hello to Tina Hobbs. Tina Hobbs, great to have you here tonight. Marie Withers, great to have you. William Campbell, great for you to be here tonight. Mary Boysworth, great to have you. Lisa Lancaster, great to have you. Cheryl Moulton, great to have you. Angela Asperero, great to have you. Catherine Lynn, nice to have you today. Brian Doty, happy Mother's Day and great to have you here today. Dan Burks, nice to have you here today. So, guys, I'm glad to have all you guys here on This Week from Rockdale tonight. So let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Let's give away that Chromebook like we did last week. Ken and I are excited about giving these Chromebooks away. Like I told you, starting out small, we're going to give Chromebooks away. Then we're going to give some guns away. Then, for the grand finale, Ken and I are going to raffle off a car. You heard it here. We're going to do that. We're going to make that happen. So let me go in here and get this out of here and shake this all up. And I got a ticket. I got a ticket. I'm coming out with a ticket. Bill Campbell. Bill Campbell, you just are the proud owner of a new Chromebook. So I'll get this off to Ken. Ken will be reaching out to you, Bill Campbell, and you are the proud owner of a Chromebook. We've had some other people enter the show. Good evening, Charlotte Gellert, and good evening, Danielle Munez. Y'all didn't hear Bill Campbell was the winner of this week's drawing of our Chromebook. So Ken will be reaching out to him. Thank you for purchasing the tickets. And we just thanks everybody that like I said, again, that helps with what we're doing here because the money is all going to go to a great effort. First of all, 10% of it we're donating to CASA. And CASA helps with legal expenses for kids that are in the foster care program. So 10% of everything that we collect is going there. And then the rest of everything that we collect is going to go toward ads and advertising and the other things that we're going to do here, that the Rockdale voter is going to do to help defeat evil. And what I mean by evil is I'm talking about elected officials in Rockdale County. I refer to Oz Nesbitt as evil. I refer to Sherry Washington as evil. I refer to several members of the Board of Education as evil. I actually even refer to our current sheriff as evil. So this evil needs to be removed from Rockdale County. And with your help, we're going to remove some of this evil from Rockdale County so we can get back to the basics in Rockdale County and we can start caring about citizens and putting people first because people need to come first. If people don't come first, then there's no need to have government. There's no need to have elected officials if people don't come first. So I want to talk to you guys about something this evening, and it's near and dear to me, and it's property taxes. So my concern with property taxes, not only in Rockdale County, but the state of Georgia in general, is these overvalued property assessments that are being levied on the citizens of Georgia, and specifically the citizens that I care about most, Rockdale County residents. So these over evaluated properties, well, what harm does it do? It does a lot of harm. First of all, it sets you, the citizen, up for failure, because these property values are going up at such a rate that your income is not going up at the same rate to be able to match paying for those property values. It even gets worse when someone's a senior citizen and they go on retirement and they're on a fixed income. Someone on a fixed income, no way can they keep up with these overvalued properties and the tax assessment that comes with them, because that's exactly what these board of commissions, these board of educations, these local municipalities, they all tell, well, you should be glad because your property value is increasing. Doesn't help you one iota if your income doesn't match that pace of increase to where you're actually able to pay those property tax values, because you're not. Most people aren't getting the raises necessary to be able to keep pace with the increases that are manifesting in these assessments. So, there are things that we can do about it. Last year, we petitioned and fought, and we got the legislature to introduce legislation to allow us to increase our exemption for seniors from $35,000 to $50,000 for the Board of Education. Well, I noticed that Newton County is doing a similar thing. Newton County this November will be voting to increase their senior exemption from, I'm not certain what it is, but they are asking for it to go to $50,000. William Campbell just says the highest overvalued property in the U.S. is in the state of Georgia. And I agree with Bill. We are actually at this point, in what I call a crisis in the state of Georgia with this overvalued property evaluation, because the people of Georgia are just getting hammered, and it actually is driving people out of home ownership, and it's actually going to drive people out of being able to rent. Well, how would it drive people out of being able to rent? Well, when these property values are assessed and these increases are levied even against property owners that have rental units, these property owners are not going to absorb and eat that cost. They are going to pass that on to those individuals that are renting. And at some point, we reach a point that even renters are not going to be able to afford the rent, because the rent keeps going up every year because these landlords are being assessed at a higher rate every single year. So people, we are in a crisis right now. What do we do? Well, just because property values supposedly increase doesn't mean that the county, the Board of Educations, and the local municipalities actually have to raise your taxes. It is actually within their power to lower your taxes through that millage rate process that they have. The millage rate is nothing more than a multiplier. When used with your property value, actually sets your tax rate. So they can lower the mill significantly so you don't pay as much taxes as you did last year. They can raise it and you can pay significantly more. And if property values increase and they keep it at the same, your property taxes still go up because your value goes up on that same meal. So when these governments, when these municipalities, when these counties, and when these board of educations say, well, they didn't raise your taxes, your property value went up, they are, can I say this loud and clear, telling you a bold face lie. Because if you pay more this year than you did last year, that is a tax increase. It is clearly a tax increase. And that's exactly what's happening to the citizens of Georgia and especially the citizens that I care most deeply about, those in Rockdale County. Guys, it's time to push back. Just because you guys claim that our property value is increasing doesn't mean you have to dig into our pockets. Because like I have said several times, there's only a couple of ways to actually recognize this value that they say exists. One is that you sell your home and recognize the increase through a sale. The other only way is for government to tax you and you pay additional taxes on an imaginary increase in property. Because that's what it is. It's an imaginary increase in property value. It's not real. It's inflated with many different other factors that are causing the inflation to occur, causing the inflated property values to exist. So I'm asking you, the citizens of Rockdale County, the citizens of Georgia, to get involved. Let's start reaching out to our local legislators and letting them know enough is enough, that we no longer continue to want to participate in this false evaluation of properties, that we no longer want to be exploited. We no longer want to be manipulated and used by local governments, Board of Educations, and Board of Commissions. That it's time that as citizens, we take back our governments. We take back our local municipalities. We take back our local Board of Educations. And we take back our local county governments. I believe it was in the 1960s that the Rockdale County citizens voted to allow the Rockdale County Board of Education to levy probably what I believe is the highest millage rate any Board of Education is allowed to levy in the state of Georgia. In the 1960s, there were less than 15,000 people in the county of Rockdale, and less than 600 people participated in an election that impact us this very day. And our superintendent says, well, this was a right that was given to us by the voters of Rockdale County. Most of the voters that voted for that are not even alive anymore. Most of the voters who approved that aren't even alive today. It's time that we request that our Board of Education and our legislators introduce legislation that we can lower this millage rate to the state minimum, state maximum, I mean. It's time that you, the citizens, elect people that will do that. Alex says the school will never give up that penny. That's true. The existing members of the school board will never give up that dime. At least 5 of them won't, or 4 of them. But we can elect different people that will give up that penny. And I have faith that there are people out there that if we would elect them, would lower taxes. It's just getting the right people to run. And it's informing you, the voter of Rockdale County, who to vote for and why to vote for them. I have a litmus test for anyone running for the Board of Education. It's a one question. If you're on the school board, would you vote to extend Terry Oates' contract? And the answer to me, whether I can even consider voting for you or not, has to be no. It has to be I would not consider extending Terry Oates' contract. In fact, the answer I would want to hear was, as soon as I'm elected, I would ask to have a vote of no confidence in Terry Oates. A vote of no confidence in Terry Oates, and send his sorry ass packing out of Rockdale County, because he doesn't live in Rockdale County. So why are we letting him drive here and cross the border? So let's elect people. One of the first things they'll do is ask for a vote of no confidence and send his sorry ass packing back to Henry County. Just saying, folks. We can do that. We have the power to do that. You as voters have the power to elect individuals that will invoke your will instead of them invoking their will upon you. You have the power to elect legislators. Now, the way Georgia's local legislation is drawn up, it could be a very powerful thing if you elect local legislators who actually listen to the citizens and pass local legislation for you, instead of having delegates represent 3 people, instead of having our delegates represent the Board of Commission. Our local delegation needs to represent you, the voter of Rockdale County, and not 3 voters that live in Rockdale County who happen to be members of the Board of Commission. Our local delegation needs to represent the 90-some thousand people, 94, 95,000 people, not 3 people. We need to demand that, and we need to hold our legislators accountable, specifically Doreen Carter and Dasheen Kendrick. They ignored the will of the people. They ignored you and refused to allow you to vote whether you wanted to expand your commission or not. That's what we need to do. Guys, I'm just telling you right now, we can make a difference in Rockdale County. And we make that difference by electing people who will listen to you. And let's just say in 2 years from now and 4 years from now, if you elect a group of people and they blatantly ignore your will, then you kick their asses out of office and you put someone else in office. You don't keep falling prey to sending the same people back to office that ignore you. Ignore me once and you're gone. Ignore me one time and you're gone. That needs to be the litmus test. If you ignore the citizens and you're an elected official, then you need to be gone. Point blank. You need to get your walking papers. May of 24, the Rockdale voter intends to work very hard beside many of you citizens. To make a change in Rockdale County. To defeat Oz Nesbitt, to defeat Sherry Washington, to defeat 4 of the 5 people that are going to run for re-election in the school board, to defeat the sheriff. We've had killings and shootings, kidnappings. We've had all kinds of shenanigans go on in Rockdale County. Do you feel safer in Rockdale County today? Do you feel safe today? Do you still feel safer under Sheriff Levitt's leadership? I don't. I have no confidence in the sheriff. I do not have a personal issue with the sheriff. I just don't think he's a very good sheriff. And as a voter, I'm allowed to say I don't think he's a very good sheriff. I just don't think he's a very good sheriff. I don't think Oz Nesbitt is a very good chairman. I don't think Sherry Washington is a very good post 1 commissioner. I don't think many of the Board of Education members are very good Board of Education members. But I do think the voters of Rockdale County have had enough. I think you've seen through the fake. I think you've seen through the irresponsibility and the spending that just goes on and on and on. Let me just tell you, taxpayers of Rockdale County, we don't have a money problem. We don't have a lack of money. We have all the money that we need to do anything we want and everything we want. We just have a priority and a spending problem. I was told that this past SPLOST went over $40 million. Do you guys remember what we proposed building a courthouse annex for over at Parker Road? It's $25 million a few years ago. And they said, well, we can't do it. We don't raise enough money in SPLOST to be able to do everything that we want to do and then have money to do that. Well, you actually raised enough money through this past SPLOST to do everything you wanted to do, and you had a $40 million surplus, which was more than enough money to do revenue bonds and build the complex that was suggested at Parker Road. Let's just say we even build a bigger complex and do something, some extra stuff with whatever at Parker Road, and we spend $50 million. This next SPLOST is estimated to have a surplus of between $40 and $60 million. The next SPLOST is estimated to have a surplus of $40 to $60 million, which is more than enough to build what we need to build as far as a judicial complex at Parker Road. More than enough. But that's not what this Board of Commission wants to do. This Board of Commission wants to hijack that surplus, most likely hijack the majority of the SPLOST fund and do Lord knows what with it. Do you want to continue trusting these individuals with these funds? I say no. I say no. I say hell no. I say it's time to put an end to this tyranny. It's time to put an end to this taxation problem we have. It's time to put an end to this spending problem we have, because we have a spending problem in Rockdale County. And it's time to end that spending problem by not sending back the same people to elected office over and over again. We're going to have several candidates run for some of these posts. We're going to invite those candidates to post on the Rockdale Voter homepage. And the Rockdale Voter, we're going to, at some point, we're going to endorse candidates. We're going to endorse candidates in these different positions. And I will 100% tell you they're not going to be the people that currently hold the Post 1 Commission position, the person that holds the current chairman position, the current sheriff position, and it will not be 4 of the 5 people who hold Board of Education positions that will be running for re-election. I will tell you that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a fight for our lives in Rockdale County. We're in a fight to take back our community. We're in a fight so that you can keep a standard of living that you're accustomed to. We're in a fight so that you can keep your homes. Because if this insane tax evaluation and tax increases continue, you will not be able to own your home. You will not. Ladies and gentlemen, I just ask you to join me as we move forward to fight to retake Rockdale County, to reimagine Rockdale. Rockdale County was once a vibrant, explosive, great place to live. And it can be that way again if we work together as citizens and voters and taxpayers and elect people who come from us, who care about us and really want to represent us. That's all we need to do. I'm asking you to join me in this fight as we move forward. I've had a great time here this evening talking to you guys for about 30 minutes nonstop, just running my mouth and saying the things that I want to say, because I can say what I want to say on this show. And I thank each and every one of you for listening to me and giving me the opportunity so that you hear my voice and you hear my reasoning. I thank you for that. As I leave tonight, I ask you to join me here next Sunday as we will once again talk about the Rockdale County Board of Education, the Board of Commission in our local city government, or the lack of, and what we need to do to regain the power. I thank you very much, and I appreciate everything that every one of you do in our community, and I will continue the fight. Thank you and good night, and I will see you next Sunday.